It will take us. Tempest will take us into Spider Queen game number 2, as they will choose the map as Mighty. After the loss, will go get the first pick. They had a decent draft. I mean, I was wondering about the 5th pick. They were really against that big sustain coming out from the other side. They really needed the sustain. We saw Core Stitches going down with no help. That's exactly why they were losing members. They do not have burst. They have burst heal, but that's it. Long cooldown. You need more heals.
Well, with Tomb now, we're going to have fast rotations. We're going to have early game being super important. And if Mighty can step that up, as we saw they didn't really take their early game advantage last game to heart, maybe we see a different game here.
Nice self-ban coming out.
Self-ban.
And this is the only map I believe we had three ETCs now, with only appearing in Spider Queen. So
they did this because they wanted Genji. That's why they banned the Stitches. They don't think Stitches is the strongest hero in the game, but they banned this because they don't want Tempest to have it, and they knew that they would either get the Genji or the Ariel, and Genji is why they instantly lock in. Tempest will have to take some time to think about their next move now.
Of course, Uther is open, but Hyde actually, for a while, did not really prefer Uther over any other support heroes. But now that he's the top support, picking Kel'Thas this early.
Well, they wanted the Stitches Kel'Thas probably together. They're not going to have that, but I wonder. Smile on the face of lockdown here.
Yeah, seems like he's pretty happy, and he's the player that's very likely going to be playing on Kel'Thas. It's been a while, and will it be? Ooh, look at that. 1 win, 7 losses.
Well, a lot of those were from EGG.
And a lot of those were Convection too.
Yeah. Really high pick rate in Korea. I know that I've gotten tweets being like, I can't believe you said Convection was meta. It is in Korea, so we see, a lot of risks taken with that one, and I don't know if it will be taken this time for Tempest, but let's just wait and see. I think it's going to, a lot of it will depend on the rest of the draft for Mighty.
Does have the very good wave clear, and this is in the small choke points, the Living Bomb does tons of damage to all of the enemy teammates when they're all together. And actually they're going against it with the Sanctification available for Tyrael insta pickup before the second ban phase. I like this draft a lot more already coming out from Mighty. There's sustain onto himself with the Tormented Souls for Marthiel. And whenever they get low, Genji can come from the side, Swift Strike, get the kill with the Dragon Blade.
Li Ming being highlighted here. Expecting perhaps the reset type play here, and that's going to be banned away. Anubrock insta-ban. Mighty is drafting fast. I feel like they pretty much have this planned out.
Banning all the top tier tanks in the front line.
Yeah, they already have the Tyrael, and they're removing more CC with the Anubrock ban as well. So now, Kel'Thas isn't going to have too many follow-ups for his gravity lapse.
Tempest may actually go towards less likely with the following nerfs to the patches, but D.Va was an option for Sign. With so many actually frontline tanks removed, I think we may actually see D.Va in this game. But Muradin's still very strong tanky, along with ETC, which has been popping up sometimes on this battleground as we mentioned before. So there are still lots of options for Sign, and possibly Honkono playing the tank once more.
Could be. I hope not, but Greymane, he's going to be playing that. This is decided already. And will we see the secondary support? No, it's going to be Diablo. The 5th slot, so many options for Tempest. We could still see the double support for sure. They're bringing in the Diablo. So we're going to try to lock Genji down that way.
They already have percent-based damage, so Diablo will be taking...
You think we might see like a Zeratul 5th pick?
They still need a support, and they need to go dive. I think Lucio is also okay. More percent damage. with Tychus.
So very unlikely we'll see a secondary tank of any kind here for Tempest now.
Regard to help with the dive, with the wolf form diving in and also doing tons of damage at the same time. Ooh, this is a scary draft for Mighty.
Yeah, definitely so.
But Tempest on the other side does have a lot of CC. That's one good thing. When they dive in, there's a Graviton, there's Diablo charging in to cancel that dive. And also Uther's got the stun.
Well, they've picked these heroes, the 1 and 7 Kael'thas, the 0 and 4 Diablo. These are risky picks, but they can make it work. Tastar will be the secondary support. So if they can make it work, it'll be impressive. They'll raise those win rates, but I'm not super sold on the draft here at Tempest.
Who's playing Tastar then? That's weird. Usually
HGC
it was locked
likely, right?
I guess so. There seems to be some role swaps in Tempest side right now.
We'll see if they can make this happen, G-Clef, with this double support. It's going to be about the Greymane, and we might have to see the Convection build coming out again for Kael'thas to get that maximum value with the Flame Strikes. Now, Honkono, it looks happy. Tempest looks very happy with the draft overall. It's a very unusual one. Let's see if they can take it, win with it, and carry the momentum as they go to 2 with the Spider Queen. In blue, Hide on Uther, Honkono on Kael'thas, Lockdown on Tastar, Sign on Diablo, and HA2 on Greymane.
Okay, Honkono went to Kael'thas instead.
Yeah. So Lockdown's flexing onto the Tastar.
And in red, Mighty. Joker on Tyrael, BDG on Genji, Good on Martheo, Nasang on Rehgar, and Magi on Tychus. So much damage to the side of Mighty if they can make the dive happen. With the Sanctification from Tyrael.
Mana Addict as well. Not going to be the Convection that we've been seeing a lot of the time in Korea, so...
Of course, it's with so much dive potentials on the other side, it's very dangerous for yourself to go into the quest. If you lose all the stacks, of course, you lose the value. You will not get the value for a long, long time.
Aggressive dive here on the Nasang, but he's already in wolf form. Body blocks are really good, though.
Another wolf comes along. Does not get the kill.
Nasang gets away. Good gravity lapse there on the Genji, though, so already Honkono proving his worth on the Kael'thas. I wonder if we will see... We've already have the cocktail coming out here. Honkono has been building only Wisdom Duelist. HA2 wants to take the more cocktail approach here.
I think it's possible with having double support with Tastar shielding, but less likely as...
Well, he already took the cocktail at level 1, so... I don't think he will do it, but we have seen it anyways with the cocktail level 1.
And actually, it's Honkono on Kael'thas now,
so
HA2, so
exactly,
so a lot less likely.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying I wonder if HA2 will follow suit, or if we're going to see the stylistic difference.
So Sign dives in aggressively, and it seems like it's costing him big right now, doing tons of damage. HA2 actually surviving in all that mess. Living bomb damage is real when you're all rounded up. Please make sure if the fire is on you, do not get close to your teammates.
Yeah, don't get close to me. I don't care about the rest of my team. Stay away from me. The amount of times I've died because of that.
Not just you. If your team dies, you can cost your team, so. Well, that's the power of Honkono's Kael'thas coming in. Living bomb will be very powerful in the small choke points, especially when you're fighting for those camps.
Tastar struggling here in the solo lane right now, as you guys can see. Does get the Psy Storm off, though, in range.
And Genji pops. The wild Genji appears from nowhere.
As soon as he saw the gank coming out, he was like, ooh, he popped that dimensional shift real early. The Joker actually missed timing some of his shields from the main waves to the Flame Strikes. Actually.
There's a focus onto Hyde.
Hyde is in serious trouble. Sign trying to peel for him.
Well, get a nice charge, though, onto Good.
Gets the heal, but the Flame Strike, or not the Flame Strike, the Living Bomb will finish him off. Well, I was really hypercritical before that fight happened, but I did notice the some of the missed shielding against the flame strikes coming out from Tyrael, but something that is not going to be the game changer or game winner. It's just a weird matchup. You don't really see Kael'thas too often, so.
Good charge from Cyan, actually charging into the other direction where after the dive, so got a lot of the turret shots into the Mighty side.
So gems carried same, but already 10 turned in for Tempest. They're very close to getting the finish here. They're going to just need 4 more in order to turn in the 7 to finish. Also, whereas Mighty doesn't have any turned in, even though they have a lot carried.
Yeah, also I think... oh yeah. 43 to 27 now, BDG gets some damage, deflect, and Swift Strike already used for defensive use. But wave clear is a lot better for Tempest, I think. So they will have the faster rotations, I think. Wave clear is one of the most important thing as you draft into Spider Queen all the time.
Definitely, definitely. And it shows. 1 gem away now from grabbing the potential turn in. They do get it, or you know, the gem needed. So 10 carried now. They just need to turn in 7. Deposit not going to be easy with Mighty being very aggressively positioned around the turn-in points right now.
BDG still holding some gems, and Joker places himself dangerously in the front. Cyan takes a lot of % damage from Martheo.
And from Tychus as well. Speeding through that damage. Magi is having a field day. Both teams with enough for turn-in. This is going to be a big turning point, no pun intended. And it actually will be the turn-in for Tempest. No denial there. Not entirely sure who put that in. I think it was actually the Tastar. I think Lockdown was the one to get the turn-in there for the rest of his gems. So this is going to push them a lot closer to a lot faster of a level 10.
This was very expected from Mighty's side. The wave clear was a little bit better for Tempest, and they did get their first turn-ins a little bit earlier, so they could have been expecting this, and they have a lot of % damage with so much DPS onto their side. So even their wave clear, when the heroes come, they can also harass and take the web weavers out pretty quickly.
Yeah, and with this wave clear, it just does so much for them. This web weaver, the siege they have with Kael'thas as well, is just more. Is going to be stronger than the web weavers that Mighty get in general. So look, they get about half a level lead from this as the web weavers finally expire. And they're nearly at enough gems to get a second turn in. It's going to be very difficult to get the back-to-back on this one against Mighty. But they absolutely can do it. And the Diablo play has been really good so far, always peeling so well for the targets. He's been using it more as a peeling hero than actually committing heavily into, you know, trying to get the ganks or the picks.
Yeah, sometimes he was charging in before all the teammates. Cyan has to be careful charging in too early. We saw that lots of happening from Diong, especially from Maven oftentimes yesterday. That's something that Diablo players should take into mind. If you charge in, all of your teammates can follow up with you when you get the charge, get the throw onto the other side.
That was an insanely fast Mana Addict finishing, by the way. It's maybe 6:10 or so that finished.
They are all rotating around to actually get all those globes.
Exactly. So. That's why, you know, this rotation style works for him too, because now he has such an early barrier, and he's never going to have mana problems for the rest of the game, like ever, ever, ever. He got it done this fast, like he's set for life. He'll never, ever, ever run out of mana, ever.
He will eventually, but not in later game. Not in the later game. It's really hard.
Never, ever, ever, never, ever. Well, they get the turn in. They actually had a pretty nice deny briefly there, but just no way to continue to stop Mighty. They had too many gems carried by too many people. And look, this web weaver is never going to do as much as the one that Tempest just did because of the wave clear, like you were saying.
They have 10 already, and he has to be careful. They can push a little bit more. Seems like Martheo is trying to push a little bit more on the bottom, but look at the speed. They're taking this down so quickly. Apoc Archon. Okay, Divine Shield. They do need a lot more protection, so Shield was the answer.
Yep.
Nothing crazy from either side.
They don't have anything really to pair with the Apoc, so I was wondering if maybe we would see the
Lightning Breath?
No, not the Lightning Breath, but the Divine Storms sort of prep for the Apoc, but that's so difficult to pull off in practice. Even saying it is hard to do, but actually doing it in reality. Just a bit too risky for them to do that, and they would lose the protection on the Grey main. Even though it's not Honkono's Wisdom Duelist build, you still want to have that Divine Shield, also to protect Kael'thas.
That's right.
He has the mana barrier, but, you know, extra protection is always a good thing when you're against this dive comp with the Genji.
Yep, that's right, when they dive in, but meanwhile... Okay, they're willing to give up some gems turned in for the camp timing.
Actually going to be a full turn in. I think this was a mistake by Tempest. Perhaps they didn't think they had enough turned in or thinking about other things, but the cleanup there and the camp timing definitely should have had at least somebody trying to poke and delay this. Tastar's great at this because he has long range for his Psystorm and of course can use Dimensional Shift if anyone tries to punish him. So this is actually really massive for Mighty. They get away with this, and this is actually possibly going to push them ahead in this game, even though the Web Weavers aren't as strong as Tempest because of the lack of wave clear like we talked about. They have an okay wave clear. The Tempest has a great one, and this is eventually going to start to do real structural damage.
Yep. So the bottom one, of course, Grey main with Tastar, actually holding 25 on Tastar. Clear this bottom one pretty quickly, and Kael'thas has been working so they can all join in the middle and take care of this Web Weaver, but they will lose the first walls though, and Mighty actually caught up the EXP with this turn-in. Sign from overextending a little bit, takes a chunk of damage, all the percent damage comes in from Tyrael and the Tychus and the Martheo. Comes Odin, they want to pressure this a little bit more.
Sign gonna have to go home, wants to make sure he does not lose those souls. Soul is so important for Diablo. The ability to instantly respawn is only really valuable in late game. Otherwise, you're just kind of like, well, now I'm just less tanky and I'm back, and most of my team was wiped anyway, so I can't accomplish anything. So it's very important to make sure that Sign does not die. Look at how tanky he is. Diablo with souls is the tankiest hero in the game, basically. So I like his decision to back there. Comes back to the fight early, though. Rejoins quickly. They're looking for this pick on the BDG very heavily, and it might actually cost them. Okay, they're going to actually commit to this fight. Archon is used. Honkono is the target here. Tormented Souls comes out. The Ancestral is really good.
Nicely done, but maybe they do not want to turn this one around, as Archon and Phoenix was already used, and I was waiting for Sign to pop his APOC to actually turn things around. And as you said, there's not much of a follow-up you can really have. There's no Void Prison, there's no Divine Storm. So I think he was really waiting for the perfect timing and he just missed it.
Yeah.
Now here's the APOC, but it does not get the grab onto Boggy.
Really. Yeah, and Dragonblade's coming in with a Sanctification. H82 under so much fire here. He is taken out. Honkono already used his mana barrier earlier, so doesn't have that available right now. And the team fighting here just much better for Mighty. They had the Divine Shield there. Sorry, the Sanctification with the Dragonblade. The Dream. Shuriken Mastery is done now too. And they have almost enough for the rare triple turn-in, as Tempest carries over 100 gems currently.
103. And I saw Lockdown holding more than 50. 52 actually in his hands, so ooh, that will be a tough turn-in, as they are losing in the lanes where they had the early lead with the wave clear and the pressure. But now with the extra wave, because of the camp, I think that's where Mighty really started to snowball really quickly with the turn-ins.
Well, Moggy's coming over now to deny this turn-in, and so Tempest doesn't get a single gem turned in. At least they're spread out pretty well amongst everybody. I wonder what they would have been at if we didn't see them kill onto H82 earlier. I guess probably most of his gems were recovered. But look at this. They have, what, they're 2 short now? So finally Tempest gets the turn-in they were looking for.
And H82 seems cleansed, but not enough. That's not going to save him from taking all the damage. Even Hyde is in the dangerous position. Holding 29, he will drop 29 as
Divine shields himself.
The shield.
Yep. Sign not wanting to go down here either and lose his souls will back off, and this Web Weaver push doesn't even feel like it's on blue side because Mighty has such domination in lanes, pushing all the way to the towers, that the Web Weavers are mostly defending now rather than doing anything else.
This dive comp is so strong right now, and Tempest seems like they don't have an answer. against it for the moment, and Sign is looking for a pick. Can he actually throw Magi over? But there's no follow-up. That's the thing. Diablo seemed like an okay pick in the draft, but after a while we realized there's no follow-up CC. They tried to get the pick, but never succeeds.
Let's see what happens if this game goes long, because Kael'thas is going down the Living Bomb build, so when he hits 20, he's obviously going to become more lethal because he'll have the indefinite chain bombs there to win a lot of team fights. That's like very, very powerful, basically broken. And if I remember correctly, I think Kael'thas was actually released that way, but when he gets 20, that's going to be a huge spike with this build. So that's something that Tempest has put a lot of eggs into a basket with that we're just not going to see until later. We look 5 minutes from now, when we look at this, we'll be like, okay, maybe it's a different story. But as it is now, they are struggling. And that cursed bullet was premature,
that
I would
was
say.
Headshot for sure. And Joker, of course, living after the headshot because maybe he doesn't even haven't had as Ethereal. You can't really see his head.
We know what he looks like under there.
Yes.
I've seen the cinematics.
They have enough, and Tempest actually lost a lot of gems from H82 dying all the time, but still having enough. But the pressure is real, and Joker is turning in on the other side.
Okay, he's going to try to get this in. He will get it. Mighty, again, just controlling this game. They have the talent tier advantage. You ever wonder what Imperius looks like under the hood?
Yeah, of course. All the time.
All the time? That's something you think about often?
In the showers.
Yeah.
In the showers every day. Ah. No, Mighty really having this pressure. Tempest, what would be an okay answer for Tempest right now? To soak up to 16 and then what?
Well, they just need to make sure they can prevent these keeps from dying. They have good siege, right? So for them, it's turn-ins are so powerful that trying to commit to a turn-in is good. They can shut this down. I just want them to not overextend so that they can survive, play the longer game, get to 20 with this Kael'thas build. That's the way to do it, I'd say. Mighty just dominating at this moment in time, though. They will get all the forts down now, so it's only keeps left. But because of the lack of domination in the pushes, the lack of wave clear and sieging power from Mighty, they don't threaten any keep walls, and keeps are really the way that we're probably not going to see 20, and Mighty got an early keep. It would be like, okay, that's why Tempest never got to 20, never got to see that full Kael'thas come online. But because we are playing this very even game, or well, I wouldn't even call it an even game. We're playing on Tomb of the Spider Queen, and the objective doesn't do much when you don't have a lot of siege. We're likely to get to that point. So this game is still winnable by Tempest, by all means.
That's right. They only got forced. All their keeps are safe and healthy. So as long as they keep their keeps, that's all they need. I think they can still have a very good chance of coming back after you have all the power at 20.
And they have so many gems carried, if they don't die, they will eventually get those turned in, right? So,
but only if they can get to 20, that's the thing. Mighty will pressure once more before that, I'm pretty sure, once they hit 20, before Tempest does. Camp gets cleared pretty quickly with all the percent damage and the soul rips coming out from good.
H82 getting pressured here by BDG.
Tempest also holding so many gems. Joker going all the way in. And H82 has to be careful. Oftentimes the focus was on him.
Joker really wants to get a grab here onto H82 or Honkono, who are both at the front lines here. They're buying a lot of time for this keep wall to get taken down, actually forcing, it's going to force a reaction eventually. Genji's going down to the push with it, but during this moment where Genji is gone, they're actually going to collapse here. Look for the fight. They are rotating up now. Odin is used.
Does not get the kill onto Nasang, and BDG and Good is onto the other side looking for a chance to dive in. Joker can just take a lot of damage. He can dive in on any time, pop that Senki, will be safe on it. Let's get the Odin out though. The Curse Bullet will be back in just 3 seconds.
Sign very aggressively positioned. Joker could holy ground him. Not going to right now though. So we are going to see the keep wall continue to go, or the keep wall's probably already down. We're going to see the keep start to get really threatened in the bot lane. That's something I'm really surprised Tempest has not gone to deal with. They really want to force this turn-in right now, and Mighty doesn't even have enough for a turn-in, so feels unnecessary to really commit this hard to stopping a turn-in that wouldn't even give them a Web Weaver push.
It was very good for HGC actually zoning Tychus out from the fight. Good with the Tormented Soul, doing 1v3 alone on the other side. Actually gets on the kill onto Tyrael too.
Yeah, the Tormented Soul's there doing a lot to Diablo, but not doing much else to anybody, and he got himself out of position. Tyrael couldn't use the Sanctification there. The keep is going down though, and remember, the way to play late game, the way to survive to late game is just simply to not lose your keeps by any means necessary. And they almost lost this one here. Had that fight gone poorly for them, easily they lose the keep. I can be happy with how Tempest was able to win the team fight, but the decision to take it in the first place was what I was really concerned about. It gets them the Web Weavers, they get to deposit the gems. Had they lost that fight though, all the massive gems carried would all be gone. So a really risky decision. It works out for them at the end of the day. They're very happy about that, because if anything had gone even slightly wrong, it would have been terrible.
I agree, but they, okay, this with the body block, a little bit killed. Now they have so much damage coming out, along with another charge from Diablo.
Well, once Diablo hits 16, he is just going to rip people apart, as already shown. And remember, this is the stronger Web Weaver push. They got a pick on the Tychus as part of the best clear that Mighty has. And they just have so much siege. They're the stronger Web Weaver pushing team. And G-Club, this could be a keep.
There's an Ancestral perfectly used onto Joker though. Another one used, it seems like he
Good cleanse on HE2.
He does not have to use the Sank gladly for Joker. If he had to, then it's going to buy so much more time for Tempest.
They got 20. The full Flame Strike is complete. Indefinite Flame Strikes now. It will never stop passing if it hits a hero. Look at this collapse. The dive here. Malthael is now down. And with this is going to be keep. They can try to go for.
You can't even see how much health he has.
I mean, this could actually be a game-winning push. They're just trying to keep Twilight Archon going. That's another huge Fire Spike at 20 that we didn't talk about for the majority of the game, but it's so powerful. Lockdown is just looking to do massive amounts of damage with this build too. He went the Psystorm build, which you saw earlier.
There's another charge onto Nasang. Seems like the damage is enough. It's not going to be the Sanctification onto Perfect.
After it's over though.
But Archon is still continuing. Joker cannot get the kill with the Dragon Blade.
Cleanse is real here to keep BDG alive, but Nasang will not be so lucky. Does get taken out here.
Hyde has 40 gems, and Magi's looking for the kill. Big red button, and BDG comes along and gets the kill.
He has
Drops
redemption
40.
though. He has redemption, and this is perhaps an overextension here by BDG. Hyde comes back alive here with the redemption. Oh, and look at this. They turn this around. Overextension by Magi. He may pay for it with his life. Super low, waiting for that. Oh, he was so close to hitting him there.
Not enough. BDG has a Swift Strike. It looks like they don't want to go all the way in. Sign's holding 70.
That fat 70 gem turn
70.
in. Casual. Diablo walks off and about to go get his 20 bajillion million gazillion health back at the hearth.
I don't think Sign died once in this game. Once in this game when there's...
No, he has not. No deaths, as you can see.
So much percent damage on the other side. He just kept himself so in the perfect positioning, and the team has been protecting him so well. And I think if he dies, I think will cost him big because he's less vulnerable with all the souls going away from him.
But also, if he dies in this late game, and if he's the only one to die, he just comes back immediately, which is part of the reason why I talked about how dying is so bad for Diablo, but when you're at this late game, it can actually be good. It allows you to play more aggressively because you're tankier than you were before, and if for some reason things go wrong, you respawn instantly. Sure, you're not going to be as tanky, it's going to be a problem, and he is definitely one of the targets they want to knock out here, but got up more opportunities now. This Sanctification is not really all too useful.
Yeah, dropped right in the middle with no one in it. H82 gets the Divine Shield, cannot get a kill though. This seems to be the turnaround for Mighty. They will get the kill onto Greymane, and Tastar is onto the side. Here's the Dragon Blade coming out. Perfect Ancestral onto BDG.
Kono, I think he still has the mana barrier. Doesn't look like he's going to need it. But Sign, this is going to be him losing those souls. Uses the bolt here to get away, but he will get taken out, and that is all the souls gone.
Seems like Twilight Archon is pretty OP 2v1. And he does not... He wins, actually, 2v1.
Yeah. He ends up dying there in the end.
Still, it's a 2v1. Yes,
Core's under attack. Diablo respawns with no souls. Actually going to go over here and clear this camp with his teammates now because the lane pressure allows this to happen despite the, I guess you could argue, one team fight for Mighty. He comes back with a quick respawn timer. And this game is not over yet, but it feels like now that the Kael'thas 20 is online, the Twilight Archon's online, and Diablo has 16. The late game fights are being won by Tempest over and over again. So I'm liking the position here for Tempest now, and they have the keep pressure as well.
They have the keep pressure, and Tempest has all their keeps alive. That's the thing. Mighty wanted to push a little bit more, but just like game number 1, they could have pushed a little bit more, and because it's a risk though, they're not really taking it to the extra step all the time, and it's costing them big every single time in game number 1 and game number 2 here. But they can still make a great comeback. That last sanctification at the bottom lane was not really perfectly used, as BDG was on the other side. Diablo was harassing, and the other one was chasing lockdown the entire time, so I don't know. The teamwork was just not there, but with the perfect teamwork, they still have a good chance of coming back. And here's the engage onto Magi, and Tychus with that holy ground will barely save it.
Yeah. Close calls. Magi's got to work on his positioning, his decision making as well in some of these fights. You know, that top fight where he decided to go back in was not the right choice. It's not his best day of Tychus we've ever seen. I think Cleanse was actually just used there onto Joker as well, so that's on cooldown now. Tempest looks terrifying with this Diablo pick, and I don't know if Sign has really played it all too often. When I think about it, he has played no games of it, of course, in this phase, but in phase 1 he might have played it once or twice. But this is not a normal hero for Sign, and he is killing with it.
Indeed, the Ancestral is already done, and Odin pops off from the side, so they will back up. There's the Dragon Blade who will continue.
HGC
is safe with the Divine Shield. The Batonkona pops, and Greymane, no damage from Tempest.
Yeah, that's going to be the win in the team fight here. Can they end the game off of this, though, is the big question. Diablo's going to get away. Lockdown does reset Twilight Archon here. He wants to fight with this, actually. Hyde has redemption. Is it available? Doesn't look like it.
Lockdown came in for his brother, but it was not enough.
And now the catapults are going to hit this core. That could actually buy a lot of time. Perhaps this game isn't over yet. It's actually kind of nuts. Triple catapults here are going to maybe even knock a percentage off. Yeah, look at this. We're 25 minutes of the game, knocking this down to 75%. 76%.
Reading the numbers hard, I know. I know math is hard, Wolf.
They get the Web Weavers, though. It's going to mostly be defensive here for Mighty. Look, I mean, I said 75 because I meant like it was going to be about the 3/4. So 76, all right. It wouldn't have been 75. It's impossible. With the catapult scaling, it would have been like 72 if they got another shot off. But anyways.
Okay.
Don't give me that look, G-Clef.
It's okay.
We had a good cast today. I don't need you to start anything with me.
All right, let's go back into the game. As with this Web Weaver push, this is 26-minute Web Weaver. This will be strong, and because all the forts, the keep is a lot damaged in the bottom lane. Mighty seems to be pushing a little bit towards the bottom and pressuring hard on the bottom now, making that rotation.
So they're going to look for the keeps here. The keeps could turn this game around, could bust it wide open. This could be the game winning or losing fight really here for Mighty. If they can win this fight, you can definitely core right afterwards. The death timers are longer than our commercial breaks at this point, and I mean, they're just being so patient, though. They're being so cautious. The keep is just step 1. Let's rotate around, try to get the second keep here. If they get the middle keep, actually, it gives them extra leverage against Tempest. The other keeps just put them equal.
We got one, and I don't think they got the entire wall on the mid lane either. And Sign still did not die once, and this is a sneaky boss, actually a very quick start. And Tempest by now should realize they are going for the boss.
They need to react, but unfortunately it's against... You know what? I like this decision by Tempest to just let this happen because they're up against a Tyrael with Holy Ground and Sanctification. Right. And if they go into that Death Trap, they're going to be up against the Malthael, Tormented Souls. They're going to go in anyways, though.
value comes in. There's the APOC onto multiple targets, dives in, but the Tormented Soul takes so much damage.
The Sake is so good too.
Perfect Ancestral, perfect target. Diablo blows up. This means the entire team wipe 4 going towards Tempest and Mighty. Nasang is also fighting lockdown 1v1 here.
And there's just no catapult pressure on the core because the Web Weavers cleared everything.
And meanwhile, the 28-minute boss has been pushing the top lane. Does have the keep available, but with the full team wipe, that will be game.
That's game over for sure. BDG gets the cleanup kill on the Honkoto. Lockdown walks over. He wants to use that Twilight Archon to clear this, but it's not going to be enough. Everyone just has to walk across the finish line now. Mighty is making this a series. The comeback was real. We went Supreme late game, nearly 30 minutes of Tomb of the Spider Queen here. A map that in Korea historically has been the longest game time map. And now all they have to do is finish the deal here on the core.
Lockdown cannot defend it by himself, and he will also be close to die. He's actually holding 12 gems too. Can he make it one? And the core goes down. Mighty making a comeback, and we are back into the series 1-1.
1-1 indeed. Really good series already. We knew tonight's series was going to be good. It was one of the ones we were looking forward to all weekend. And this is how the weekend ends. G-Clap is with these two top-tier teams duking it out. And Mighty is bringing us a series. I thought they were going to be the team that dominated this one. You thought Tempest, but it turns out we were both wrong. It's 1-1, back and forth. Pretty sick.
Pretty sick. I'm loving this series already. And last-second weird shot calling coming out from Tempest. Actually not going in all the way, but after the boss. Maybe they thought the APOC positioning was real good, but already they were kind of spread it out and didn't really work. The dive actually worked perfectly for Mighty, and they won the team fight and the game. That
they did. So now, you know, we're going to this commercial break with time to discuss and try to figure out what the next moves are, what the plans are going to be. I want to see more sign on Diablo. They lost the game, Diablo's win rate. Now I got to change my stat sheet to 0-5. Kael'thas is now 1-8. But hey, they made the comp look really strong. They got to the level 20. They got the Kael'thas upgraded there completely. So we saw basically really good play out of Honkono on the Kael'thas, which was surprising. And Sign's Diablo, his survivability, really, really good.
Yeah, so I think he could have actually gone with the convection. He didn't die too much in the beginning, but we're not done yet, as it is 1-1, best of 5, still anyone's game. We'll be back with game number 3 after the short commercial break. Guys, stay tuned, grab your stuff, and we'll be back in 5-6 minutes.